Hi all, welcome to CA Final Financial Reporting classes. Welcoming for the first class. In this class, we are going to set our expectations right. What you can expect out of me and what I am going to expect from you and what we are going to study in this subject is what we are going to cover in this session. So these are our recordings freshly made for new syllabus starting from 2024 exams and 2025 exams. These are going to be our recordings for the classes. Now, first thing first, before I get into the syllabus, the next 30 minutes will decide what is going to happen over the next 200 hours and how the classes are going to be for all of us. Let me get into the point. Even before I start the syllabus, I am going to ask you all a simple question. Now that you are in CA final, I am going to ask you a simple question. Depreciation. I am going to ask you something regarding depreciation. I want you to understand this before I get into how the class is going to be, what we are going to expect from each other. Because the way we are going to have our classes is going to be different. For first one, I am writing depreciation is a cost. Second, I am writing depreciation is a savings. Third, I am writing depreciation is a non-cash expense. And lastly, let me write depreciation is an expense. You have to pick one or more answers. I know it's a recording batch, but even wherever you are, visually think what could be the answer. How many of you A, put your hand up? I think very few people for A. How many of you B, depreciation saving? I don't think anybody would have raised the hand. Third, depreciation is a non-cash expense. Put your hand up in the house. I'm sure most of you would have put your hand up for this. Yes. And last one, depreciation is an expense. No, everybody would have gone with the option C. Majorly, some of you along with C, some other additional option. Now let's discuss a simple example. Let's take a rough trading and P&L account of some entity. Let's call it our entity. Okay, let's say FR Limited. Okay, FR Limited has a sales of 400 and purchases of 150. What is the gross profit? Let's assume the opening and closing stock is nil. With the given data, hypothetically, can you tell me what is the gross profit? I am sure all of you would have picked gross profit to be 400. No sir, what sir you are saying 400? Just checking if you are listening, guys. In our lectures, the first learning is I will keep making repeated mistakes intentionally, but I will correct it immediately just to see if you are listening. First style of teaching. Keep watching guys. So our gross profit is 250. Focus. Now I am going to say, let's assume this entire sales and entire purchase is a cash sale and cash purchase. Now I am going to ask you, at this particular point of gross profit, what is my cash in hand? My question to you is, what is my cash in hand at this particular stage? Cash in hand, I sold 400, have 400, purchase 150 minus 150. So cash in hand is also equal to my gross profit of 250 in this example. Let's continue, guys. Let's say my rental expense, electricity, employee cost, all the other expenses put together cumulatively, let's say my expenses comes to, let's put it roughly about, let's say 150 is all my expenses put together. Okay. So now in this case, what is my gross profit at this stage? 250 minus 150, I will have a gross profit of 100. Fairly simple, sir. Now let me assume all these expenses also are cash expenses. Rent, electricity, everything is paid in cash. So now I'm asking you, what is the cash in hand at this particular stage? I want to know what is my cash in hand at net profit stage. Sir, you wrote gross profit, sir. Yes, I know it's gross profit. So what is my net profit at this particular stage, guys? My net profit is 100, right? My net profit is 100. Cash in hand is also 100. In simple, I sold for 400, purchase for 150. My gross profit is 250. Pay all expenses 150. My net profit is 100. Cash in hand is also 100. So can I say net profit and cash in hand will always be the same? No, absolutely not. In this example which we made, gross profit and net profit are the same as cash in hand at that particular stage. I hope this point is clear over here. Now what is happening? Let's say hypothetically my entity purchased an asset for how much? Let's say we purchased an asset for 50. Let's assume the residual value is 0 and let me assume the life is 5 years. So these are the details of a new asset that I have purchased. Now extending this example, because of this my depreciation in year 1 will be 10, correct? If my depreciation in year 1 is 10 because of the asset that is purchased, my net profit will become 90, correct? Now I am going to ask you the same question again. What is the cash in hand at this particular juncture where net profit is 90? Cash in hand is still 100 because I sold goods for 400, received 400, my purchase 150, gross profit stage my cash in hand was matching, expense I paid 250 but 10 depreciation I didn't pay, therefore my net profit is 90 but cash in hand is 100. Sir, what sir? This I know in CA foundation itself, sir. School itself I know, sir. Why are you teaching me this in financial reporting very first class and troubling me like this? Wait for it. Now, where will this profit be transferred? This profit will be transferred to the balance sheet of our FR Limited, correct? So this profit, let's take the extract, and this net profit goes to my balance sheet in form of general reserve, transfer to my reserves, 90 in first year, and similarly the cash that I have saved comes as 100. This is in my year 1. Now let's say hypothetically all these values are repeating itself for the next 5 years. So year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, 90, 90, 90 and 90. 90 times 5, you get a total of cumulative general reserve, accumulated profits of 450, and my accumulated cash, assuming nothing is used, is 500. Now end of my 5th year, year 5 end, I have a cash of 500 but a matching reserves of only 450, right? So that means there is a difference of 50. This 50 cash, if I use for my personal use also, my cash will still be 450. Nobody will know. So if I am the director, can I take a flight to Goa, use this 50 because nobody knows this? Are you following, guys? I hope you are getting it. My profit is not matching with cash. I have a surplus cash of 50. Sir, then what is this extra 50, sir? What am I going to do with this extra 50? Very, very simple. I told you the asset purchased has a life of 5 years. End of 5 years, shouldn't I replace my asset? So when I buy a new asset in end of 5 years, cash will reduce from 500, it will become 450, and my property plant equipment will become 50. Entry will be PPE to cash. That means without your and my knowledge, by charging a depreciation of 10, I have been saving 10 in cash every year. So I saved 50. Now let's go back to school days. Let's go back to CA foundation days. Take your depreciation chapter. objectives of providing depreciation. I hope you can recollect. We used to have an objective. Objective is to provide for wear and tear of the asset. Are you able to recollect? Second objective used to be objective of depreciation is to provide for replacement of assets. Do you remember reading such a word in your foundation inter in school? That time nobody knew how depreciation is used for replacing assets. Can you see here it's used for replacement? Now let me come with a beautiful concept, guys. Imagine my residual value is 10. So 50 minus 10 by 5, a formula that we have all been memorizing from start. Look how beautifully this formula is going to come. So 50 minus 10, 40 by 5. When I write 40 by 5, my depreciation is only going to be 8 per year. So if my depreciation is going to be 8 per year, if I write here depreciation as 8, my net profit will now be 92. Correct? If net profit is 92, cash will still be 100. Why, sir? Depreciation does not impact the cash available. It's a non-cash expense. That I understand. Now if I come here, instead of 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, I will have 92 multiplied by 5 years. Correct? So my reserves, instead of 450 in the 5th year, my reserves will be 460, but my cash balance at the end of the 5th year will still be how much, guys? My cash balance will still be 100 into 5, because I am saving 100 each year into 5. Cash balance will be 500. This time, sir, the difference is only 40. Why only 40? I told you depreciation is for replacement of asset. 40 is saved by depreciating 8 every year. 8 into 5. 40 is saved. Sir, I need to buy a new asset. My new asset is 50. That's why residual value is 10. It is removed from my savings. So I have saved 40. I will have residual value of 10. So I can replace my asset at 50. Are you getting the logic of this equation, guys? The formula of cost minus residual value. Why I am reducing residual value and not depreciating? Not because of wear and tear. There is wear and tear, but still it is not needed for the purpose of replacement. Now this is a beautiful logic. So if I come back to this concept over here, if you ask me, I will first tell depreciation is a saving, and also depreciation is a non-cash expense, but we don't openly tell depreciation is a saving. Every non-cash expense, every provision that you make invariably becomes a saving, not in net profit but in cash. Are you getting the logic, guys? But practically we can't do a direct correlation because of various other factors that's there in my financial statement, and the cash, if it's used, the actual cash may not be 500. You might use it for some other purpose, but if you don't use, this is how the numbers will end up in. So this is what I mean by conceptual learning and CA final with all the MCQs that we have. Financial reporting, your first paper depends on concept. Now coming to our classes. Sir, how the class is going to be? What all should we learn? Now the 3 rules, guys. I will show you everything that we have in the class. First, before I go to the rules, how will our class be? There is going to be explained in these 3 rules. This entire recording, what I expect from you and what you expect from me. Okay, very, very important. You have the recording. You can watch at your schedule whenever you are watching for whichever attempt. But what is important for me is 3 things. Rule number 1. I want all of you not to watch this class when you are traveling in bus or traveling in train. I want you to sit down and watch the class, because rule number 1 is called running notes. During my lectures, you need to take a lot of running notes. For example, this depreciation example which I just gave you, Google about it or ChatGPT or use on Gemini AI tool of Google. See if you find it anywhere. Very rarely you will find it somewhere, but like this, we are going to learn the why logic of everything. Sir, then what about notes, sir? I will be giving you the notes. I am showing you a sample note over here. Ind AS 10 events occurring after reporting period. For example, every standard is summarized in crux concepts note into 2 to 4 pages or 2 to 5 pages. I will give you notes like this. That's it. That's it. This is the notes for Ind AS 10. We have all the concepts. When we get there, I will explain this in detail. But how I will teach you is, I will teach you conceptually why a treatment is happening. Instead of learning what is there in the book over here, we will learn it conceptually why everything is happening, so that you will remember for life. So, running notes. This material is a summary of our 100% coverage of study material. So, this material will have the key points that you have to remember for exam. But the logic of this is what I am going to discuss in the class, and you will keep taking running notes. 1. Rule number 2. Our class is going to follow a concept plus memory technique, or I will call it an interactive class. Sir, what do you mean by interactive, sir? It's a recording batch, no students in front of you. How are you going to interact with me? I'm going to interact with all the students over here. In WhatsApp, you will message me for doubts, but during the class, we are going to interact. How? Whenever I say repeat, you are going to repeat in your house. I am going to believe you, I am going to trust you. That's my first expectation. I am going to trust you guys, and I hope you are going to repeat when I say. Repeat means, I will say, for example, Ind AS 10, events occurring after reporting period. Let's learn, guys. What is Ind AS 10? Events occurring after reporting period. Again, repeat with me. Ind AS 10, events occurring after reporting period. You will repeat with me in your house. Your parents should ask you, whom are you talking to? Your entire class, you will keep repeating and learning with me whenever I prompt for it. Sometimes I will ask you to write a few things. You will write with me. I will keep checking with you. Hey, recording student, are you writing? Loudly, guys, are you understanding? Shout, shout, loudly, hello. Yes. Are you understanding, guys? Yes. When I say yes here, I will say yes. You will also say yes. Everybody watching recording will say yes together. So, this is what I mean by interactive. We are going to make it extremely interactive, as if you are here. I am going to hear you. You are going to talk in your house. Fine. Third one. So, rule number 1, mandatory following as running notes. Rule number 2, concept plus memory. How we are going to do that memory technique? By repeating in the class multiple times. I will give you multiple techniques at different points, and we are going to do only a pure concept based learning of financial reporting. That is what makes the difference of this subject. Last one is one of my favorite. It's called a library. Sir, what do you mean by library? I am calling it a library of adjustments. This is a beautiful technique which I followed during a student, and something which every student has followed. I have a feedback right with me where one student has sent a message. I can't show you the chart over here because Zoom may not be correct, but what the student has said is, sir, this technique is something I followed religiously till my exams, and during my exams, this ritual was a game changer. I still remember the words that she used. I will challenge you. Maybe 100, 200, 300, 500 students might be watching FR class in recording. I will challenge you, only 10% of students will follow this library rule, and only those 10% will feel the benefit of it, not now, before the exam. I will tell you what this is. Let's take a chapter like consolidation. Okay. In consolidation, let's say we have 30 to 40 sums that we do, and you are also going to practice, let's say, another 20 to 30 sums by yourself, by RTPs, MTP, etc. Let's say summary put together 50 sums is what you are going to see in consolidation chapter, guys. Okay. If you look at consolidation of subsidiary, the core adjustments are going to remain the same. Now, you can solve these 50 sums only once or maybe twice. Day before the exam, the 3 to 4 days before your main exam, will you have the time to revise all these 50 sums by solving? Chanceless, because we have other chapters, business combination, financial instruments, so much is there. How many sums can you solve? Now look at this. What I will do, you will prepare a 15-page index before in your notebook, 15-page index. What we will do is, you are going to maintain 2 notebooks for this library, guys. Very, very important. 2 notebooks. One notebook is called sums note in our accounts class. you will keep a sums note with you. And when I say interactive, we will keep solving sums together. I now know exactly where you will make mistake. When you make mistake, you will see in the class, I will make you strike in a red pen so that you will know when you are revising you make mistakes. So all the sums and problems keep a separate note, and for all the concepts discussion keep a separate note. Now either in the sums or concepts note you will leave a 15-page index which will be like serial number, particulars, or in other words write adjustment, then we will write chapter name, treatment, page number. When I say treatment, we treat what treatment for this. For example, serial number 1 in consolidation, you want to see this particular sum, the intercompany adjustment was a unique adjustment, or let's say bonus shares given during the year was a unique adjustment. Explain that adjustment in your mega index. Write the chapter name. My chapter name is consolidation. Then what is the treatment you have to do for this adjustment? Add here, minus there, write in your own words. And page number, give page number to the reference, let's say 72 of whichever notebook, let's say 72 of note 3 is where I have done this adjustment. Like this, when you start filling adjustments, look at this guys, in 50 sums, maximum you will have, let's say 50 to 60 unique adjustments. So day before exam, I might not have the time to revise 50 sums, but I can revise one big problem and solve one sum just for practice, and I can run through these 50 adjustments. So I will look at my library, oh adjustment 1, very easy, I know, no need to revise. Adjustment 2, I know, no need to revise. Hey, adjustment 3, this one during class also I made mistake. In recording class itself, sir made me strike when I was doing. Therefore, better, now what I should do, I will better revise this day before exam. So within 2 hours, you will revise the entire consolidation chapter, all sums, all adjustments, which is relevant for your exam. So this is going to be a game changer guys. 3 rules, very unique rules that we are going to follow in our exclusive recording. Rule number 1 guys, loudly again, loudly in your house. Rule number 1 is running notes, repeat loudly. Rule number 2, lot of concept and memory. So interactive, keep it interactive. When I ask you to strike something, strike it. When I ask you to highlight something, you highlight it. When I ask you to write something 3 times, you will write it. You will make mistakes because in our class we will solve sums together. It's not me solving and you looking, we will solve it together, and when you make mistakes, I know exactly where you will make mistake, you will strike it. So keep interacting loudly. Are you understanding guys? Yes, yes, yes. Tell the yes in your house. Last one, library of adjustment. I am sure for the first chapter everybody will do this, but as we keep going on, the number of adjustments will keep reducing, but trust me, at the end of it, only those students who maintain for all the 15-20 pages for all chapters will have roughly about 300 to 400 adjustments. Within 1 day, you can revise full effort before the exam. This ritual will be a game changer. So this is the expectation I have from you for the class. So what you will be receiving is like this, theory summary notes that you will be getting. This is what I will be using after I explain concepts to define the points over here for our lectures. And also you will be given a question bank, basically all the sums that we are going to solve in our class. So you will be getting a concepts note, basically theory note for your reference apart from your running notes, and sums we will cover 100% of ICAI sums, but along with that we will do extra sums that will be there in your material. The extra sums will be from various sources, RTP, MTP, past exam, this, that, everything put together, all the key problems that we will anyway keep solving and keep giving you additionally, but our base ICAI sums will be covered in the class. This is how the class is going to be, where I will be solving, you will listen to it. Whatever doubts you have, you can of course WhatsApp me. You will be having my number 7550137279. Just WhatsApp me for any doubt. Everything will get sorted. One point of contact for whatever doubts you have in your FR paper during the preparation. Now coming to, sir, syllabus, sir. What is my syllabus? Why is it important I learn this? This part of our lecture is going to be very, very crucial, guys. The why. Ind AS. Why Ind AS? Because your 100 marks is nothing but Ind AS. Correct? So let me give you an example. Let's take a friend, my friend Saravanan is there. What is Saravanan doing? Saravanan is sitting in Chennai, and this Saravanan is a IT employee who studied very well, and he left to Google Incorporation company in US, and in US he has now become an expert and has become, let's say, a managing director of Google. A software engineer, IT person from Chennai or Mumbai or Delhi or anywhere can go and work anywhere in the world, in Australia, Dubai, US, here, there. Correct? Why, sir? How is that allowed? A doctor also can go work anywhere in the world if they have some entrance exams. How are they allowing software engineers? Because they learn C++ or Java or Python or whatever coding language. Today you have React for website builders, this, that, or you have Flutter for mobile apps. The language of coding, the language is the same whether you are in India, Dubai, Mauritius, UK, Canada. Correct? So when I study something, the applicability of that is same throughout the world. So a software guy, our friend Saravanan, his scope is a global scope. But when it comes to accounting, there is a small difference. India used to follow accounting standards, and we still follow accounting standards. This is our language of accounting, meaning if this particular asset is purchased, how to capitalize. We had an Inter AS 10. How do I depreciate this? What method to use is the language of accounting India has. But the globe, this is called generally accepted accounting principles. We call it as GAAP. In the globe, they follow something called IFRS, earlier known as International Accounting Standards. So typically we call it as IFRS. So India used to follow a different language, and globe used to follow, all the countries used to follow a different language of accounting. So because of this, an Indian CA for the last 50-60 years can only practice in India or work in India. His global scope was very limited to countries like Dubai and Middle East. That also came in last 10-15 years. Okay, so that's all. You can't go and work in UK, Australia, etc. But after the advent of Companies Act 2013, India finally learnt it is important that we also use the global language. We shift to the global language of accounting. Only then we will have a wider scope. It helps in comparing an Indian company's financial statement with a global company's financial statement. For example, in India we call something as fixed asset. We used to call fixed asset. Now we call as PPE. What is the change? Promise, no change except name. Fixed asset became property, plant, equipment to meet with the global comparability. So what India did, all these years the international forum kept telling, hey, you please change, you please change. India kept saying, no, we will follow AS. Now suddenly if we follow, our ego is hurt. So India devised something else called Ind AS, Indian Accounting Standards. Sir, what is this? IFRS and International Accounting Standards merged, copy paste. Sorry, we should not use the word copy paste, because we did not copy paste. What we did is we changed the name. Sir, what, sir, you're making fun of it? No, we adopted International Accounting Standards and IFRS. Sir, then if it's not a copy paste, then how is the globe allowing us? How are they recognizing us? Essentially, it's a copy paste, meaning if you know Ind AS, you know IFRS. Then what is the change, sir? There are some important changes. Important changes meaning, for example, in IFRS, they call it as statement of comprehensive income. They don't call it statement here, they call it as statement of comprehensive income, or they call it statement of financial position. We call it as statement of profit and loss account, or we call it as balance sheet, because our Indian economy and environment is accustomed to these terms, so we have not following that. So that's why we should not use the word copy paste. Even though 95% plus is the same, we have adopted from Ind AS and released Indian accounting standards. So now you have two standards, AS and Ind AS. AS you studied in inter, Ind AS you are studying in final. So that means if I know Ind AS, I know IFRS and international accounting standards also are, sir. Yes. That means you know the global language. Yes. That means can you go and practice in global countries like Canada, let's say UK, Australia, Singapore, Dubai, Middle East, all the countries, Hong Kong, let's say Ireland. I can keep writing the countries, guys, Netherlands, all these countries, overall around 25 plus countries, including Zimbabwe, are now welcoming Indian CAs to come and work there, because now we know the global language. Go check out ICAI website. Just type in Google ICAI MOU with foreign bodies. If I have to show you this right away, if I have to show you this ICAI MOU with foreign bodies, let me write that, guys. ICAI MOU with foreign bodies. I am just going to the official ICAI website, showing it to you over here, guys. Can you see here? I hope you can see it over here. Yes, it's visible for you. It basically tells now ICAI has entered into MOU with Nepal, Malaysia, England and Wales, Canada, Ireland and all these countries, Netherlands, Afghanistan, Kuwait, Maldives, Nigeria, Russia also is there. I hope you can see Russia over here, where now you can go and work as a CA after clearing CA in all these countries, but each country has their entrance. For example, Singapore says if you go and work in Singapore for 6 months and get a PR, you are a CA there. If, for example, UK, you just have to write 1 or 2 entrance exams, foundation, entrance, exempt, just final. In Canada, they call it as capstone 1, 2, 3, foundation, inter, final. In capstone 3, you have to write a few exams. Go check out that website, something you can do post your qualification. That means I have adopted. Sir, that means I didn't copy fully. So let me give an example. From IFRS, let's say it has 100 things. In Ind AS, I have adopted only 98 things. Are you following, guys? 2 things I did not use that concept in India because it doesn't suit my Indian economy or Indian environment, and those things are called carve outs. Carve out from IFRS to our Ind AS, something I am not following, which is there in globally. Apart from this, let's say I am adding 3 more new things. 3 more new things which suits the Indian ecosystem. So these 3 things which I have added, so totally you are learning 101 new concepts, but it's 98 concepts from international plus 3 new concepts that is there for us. This is called carve in, which is not there in IFRS, I have added here. Hitting the logic, guys. I hope you got the terms carve out and carve in. Important to know the difference. So if you are doing international IFRS, diploma in IFRS courses, the only change in syllabus you will have is you need to learn the carve out and not learn the carve in. That's it. So your FR paper will help you easily clear diploma in IFRS if you are doing that course. Sir, now what about the numbering system, sir? Initially we had international accounting standards, then the international board renamed it to IFRS, and now the standards come in IFRS. So IFRS totally we have 23 in total, and International accounting standards, we have about 16 in total. Put together, we have roughly 39 accounting standards. How does the numbering work? If the number is IAS 1, it becomes Ind AS 1, international. If the number is IAS 2, it becomes Ind AS 2. So IAS number in here, it will match 1 to 1 to, it keeps going like that. If the number is IFRS 1, then here it will become Ind AS 101. It becomes Ind AS 101. Let's say if it's IFRS 10, it becomes Ind AS 110. It becomes Ind AS 110. That's how the numbers will go. So, for example, IAS 10 is what, if you have to tell, see, IAS 1 is Ind AS 1, IAS 2 is Ind AS 2, IFRS 1 Ind AS 101, IFRS 10 Ind AS 115. IAS 10, you tell me guys, tell me what it will be. Ind AS 10, Ind AS 10 is what you saw here. Ind AS 10 events after the reporting period. That means I can tell myself that Ind AS 10 was IAS league. For example, if I write Ind AS 115, which is a standard on revenue, which is part of our syllabus, then I can automatically tell it was IFRS 15. Are you following, guys? This is how the numbering works for us, because this is important. Okay, our first topic which you will see in the next video will be IAS 10. Ind AS 10 is what I will be starting off with. Now coming to our syllabus, I am not going to bore you with telling you what is the syllabus, what is included, what is not there in new syllabus. When we go to the material, I will show you what is there, what is not there. But to give you a rough brief, I break down the syllabus into 3 parts, guys. Into 3 parts. One is my business combination, which is nothing but my amalgamation. Next is my consolidation. Next is my Ind AS 19 employee benefits, Ind AS 115 revenue recognition, Ind AS 116 which is regarding leases, and lastly financial instruments, which is my Ind AS 32, 107 and 109. This part of our syllabus is the heart of FR, guys. Meaning, if someone tells you FR is difficult, complex, sir, I am not able to clear, not able to understand, it's because of any of the specific topics mentioned here. What are they? Business combination, amalgamation, consolidation, Ind AS 19 gratuity, 15 revenue, very important, lease is important, and financial instruments mandatory in every attempt. This discussion itself will take us close to 120-130 hours all put together. Then I break down the syllabus next into theory. Basically, theory are the new topics added in our new syllabus, which is basically your ethics plus technology in your module 3 and 4, and they have also added basic applicability, some theory, guys. So this theory, along with, they have added one more new thing in the new study mat, Ind AS versus AS difference. What is the difference between AS 4 events occurring after balance sheet date to now Ind AS 10 events occurring after reporting period? One difference table they have added. So this part of theory, I am talking about the new theory added in our study mat. So ethics and technology, basic applications, Ind AS versus AS, which we will be covering separately and part of our standards. Then lastly, I will keep all the other AS, other Ind AS, all the small standards, Ind AS 41 agriculture, Ind AS 33 earnings per share, all these will be approximately another 15 standards. These are standalone topics. You and I can easily study these. You can do a self-study also for that, but watch the class. We will quickly run through the topic. I'll like Ind AS 10, we can put Ind AS 10 here. All the other Ind AS will come here, which we will keep filling up in gaps. You can watch in any order of your choice, but I will take the class in the same sequence as how you can enjoy the subject and understand the subject. So if you are somebody who already knows FR and watching the classes, absolutely refer to the videos of your choice, class of your choice. If you are going to somebody watching first time, please go in an order, because that order is very, very important. This is not the entire syllabus, but I have given you a core. So this part itself will be 60 to 70 marks easily. This part is new addition, not that important, let's say 5 to 10 marks maximum. The remaining Ind AS will be 20 to 30 marks, including your schedule of balance sheet, P&L, all of that, cash flow, all of that will come over here, which anyway I will give you in a separate lecture as showing you the syllabus. I am sure you will be aware, but I will show you in the material where I will type it, and I will show you these are the chapters which we discussed in the very first class. So today's class, whatever we have spent the last 30 to 40 minutes, is to set each other's expectation right. What you can expect from me is the entire concept coverage, solving all sums, getting the books, and then doubt clearance, full discussion, full concept to delivery, and full syllabus coverage is what I will take care. What I expect from you, only 3 things. Going back to the start, running notes. Running notes means why AS, why Ind AS, you should have written by now. Depreciation I didn't tell you, but now you can write about why depreciation is a saving. So your running notes will come. Concept plus memory, lot of interactive. Are you understanding, guys? Loudly one last time, tell her yes, yes. And then library of adjustments, very important library. And maintain, please maintain how many notebooks, guys? You are all going to maintain 2 set of notebooks in your house. One is called only for problem solving notebooks, for you to rough scribble, make mistakes, strike. We will keep making a lot of mistakes. I will intentionally make a lot of mistakes in class and again correct, so that you are attentive in your house. And concepts note, only your concepts you will write there. So this is about how our FR classes will be, guys. So again, welcome to the class, welcome to the FR classes. Looking forward to see you there, and thank you so much, guys. Whenever I write a thank you, that means the video has ended. You can go to the next video and look at the next class. Thank you so much. Yeah.